All right. Okay. All right, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're here in, again, Northwest Clarendon, and we're in the division of Lodge Green. And the purpose of us being here today is for us to turn over and open the house that under the new social housing program through the Ministry of Economic Growth and the Prime Minister's tutelage. My name is Philip Enriquez. I'm the Member of Parliament for Northwestern Clarendon, and today we have Ms. Rita Williams on my right, who is the beneficiary of this house, much needed and much appreciated, I'm sure. And then, of course, we must be thankful and grateful that we have our Prime Minister and the Chairman of the committee that makes these decisions as to how the houses are designated or allotted or given out. And we also have to be very grateful that this program, of course, is for the taxpayers of Jamaica who are funding all of these social programs, and we are very grateful for that. Today also we have the council caretaker for the Riches Division, which is Camille Marshall, and we're grateful for her being here as well. So thank you all, and Rita, I'll turn it over to the Prime Minister otherwise so that we can move the process along.
Well, Rita,
Rita? Okay. Thank you.
Tell us your story and who you're going to give thanks.
Good evening. Good afternoon to each and everyone. Thanks to God and thanks to my Prime Minister, Member of Parliament, and thanks to Sheldon Sinclair, each and every one. And I'm very grateful for it. God bless you all.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I'm self-employed, and my mother is 89-year-old. December she will be 90. She gone to the clinic and she took sick down there. She have heart problem, kidney failure, and shortness of breath. So right now them send her up to the hospital. And thank you all, and I'm very grateful.
So she will be living with you?
Yes, she live with me
And you
and
take
my
care of her?
daughter. Yes, and I take care of her.
Okay, so she will be able to benefit from these better surroundings.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
So before you go, how did the hurricanes?
We did have to move over, but thanks.
You sought refuge here?
Yes, thanks.
That's what you had
Yes,
before was very
yes,
shaky.
yes. Right now it is leaking.
All right, so
Yes.
already it's a benefit to you, huh?
Yes,
Lovely.
I'm very grateful for it, and thank you all.
Very good.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Tim. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Judith Rob Walters, the Principal Finance Officer in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, and also the Chair for the new Social Housing Oversight Committee. The role and responsibility of the committee is to review the applications that have been forwarded to us through the respective Member of Parliament. In reviewing, there are certain criteria that we look for. We look for those that are vulnerable situations, and in the review we also look at certain things as land ownership, because that is very, very important. And we look at the soil, make sure that the soil assessment is done of the area where the house is to be constructed. What comes into us in addition to the application from the Member of Parliament is a report, because when the applications come in, they go to respective project officers who go out and do the assessment. All the assessment reports come to the committee, and then the deliberations is done, and for those that are approved and those that are not approved, because it's not all recommendations that come to the committee is approved. Some are not approved for various reasons. One of the main things that we look at, in addition to the assessments, we have to look at the land tenureship, the land ownership, because if the individual don't have legal rights to the land, then the house cannot be constructed. We have seen cases here where recommendations have been sent to us, and when we do the assessment of the land, interestingly, the person who given the permission to own the land do not own the land. So we have to do our assessment very, very carefully. So the process may appear to be long, NP, but we have to ensure as much as possible we mitigate against all the risks and we dot all the I's and we cross the T's. So once we go through that process, then the next stage is for it to go to tender. Once a contractor puts in a bid, is selected, and it goes to the procurement process and the contract is awarded. The longest or the most tedious process is the committee stage, because if it slips us at that stage, we are in problem with the payment fire, all of us. I'm just joking, that's that. But I mean, we have to be very careful at the committee stage, and we do as much as possible. We do the proper assessment. And here we are today.
Thank you, Judith. First, let me say how pleased I am on behalf of the government of Jamaica to be able to intervene in a positive way in the life of Lita. Lita lives in a broken down house. You really couldn't call it a house. It is really a shack with, as I'm looking at it right now, with a roof that is leaking like a sieve and a structure that is about to collapse. Lita takes care of her mother, as she explained, who will be 90 next year. And her mother is ill in the hospital as we speak. And when I greeted her at the entrance of her home, she pointed out that she's here, but her mind is with her mother. She's very concerned, and as she's sitting here, you won't be able to tell, but she's hiding a lot of mixed emotions, being concerned about the health of her mother, and at the same time being very happy that she is now finally the owner of this lovely house, which she hopes will help to improve her welfare and condition of living for both her mother and her daughter. This is a 2-bedroom housing solution. It's built at an approximate cost of about $5.9 million. This is built as much as possible for sustainability. So we built in mind that it is on a slope, and therefore we have had to make provisions to ensure that this house is solid and stable. We have made provisions for the proper disposal of sewage, and we have made provisions for the storage of backup water. So as much as possible, it is not merely about putting up a concrete structure. It's about building a structure that will last and that will add greater convenience to the people who will occupy it. And the convenience couldn't have come at a better time, because during the hurricane, Lita's house, which is just a few feet away from here, she had to abandon that and take up refuge here. And indeed, I have had many cases where these houses were used as temporary community shelter, where persons took refuge in them because they are well built and can withstand a hurricane or any other form of natural disaster. So we are very happy, government of Jamaica, to be making a positive impact on the lives of Jamaicans. Bear in mind that now we are at 244 units handed over today. And we have approximately in total, between handed over and in varying stages of construction, so we're about at 280 units. We hope that by the end of the year, we will be somewhere just over 300 units handed over and in various stages of construction. We have impacted close to 900 persons now, close to 900, because each unit has between 3 and as many as 7 beneficiaries. So you can imagine how many individuals are positively supported by these structures. But this house, though paid for by the taxpayers of Jamaica, handed over to Lita, it is not free. It is not free. These houses come at fiscal cost, meaning money, the taxpayers' resources, but Lita has to pay something for this house. What are you going to pay, Lita? So for one, the philosophy behind government transfers, which this is a transfer, government is transferring a benefit to the citizen. And we do these kinds of transfers all the time. We do transfers in PATH. PATH is just a transfer mechanism. We do transfer, no, this is a transfer in social housing. Now, the school of thought that surrounds these kinds of transfers is that there should be conditions on the transfers. So we call them conditional transfers. So if we are going to give PATH beneficiaries a transfer, a cash transfer, we say to them that you must send the children to school. So the transfer is tied to a kind of behavior that we want to promote in the society, attending school. So if we build this house for a family, we would expect that the family would use this house as their primary residence. Wouldn't that be fair? Because if we were to build this house and then the family rents it out, that's not fair. Because somebody else who really needed the house should have got it. So this house is your primary residence, you're going to live here. That's the case, you agree?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a part of our social contract. And the other thing is that we want to promote maintenance of your property. Right? If you have property, especially if government has given you the property, we want you to maintain the value in the property. So one of the conditions of this house is that you're going to maintain it. Right? Or what you told me is today, when I tell you I'm going to come into your house with my dirty shoes, what is it?
No problem.
You tell me that you clean
Yeah,
it 3 times
I will clean it.
Yeah, no, to get to this house, we have to go through some serious points.
Yes.
So, yeah, so you would make sure that the house is clean.
Clean.
Yes, and I can tell that you are that kind of person that, you know, you like to see your surroundings clean.
Yesterday when I was washing up the wall, one of the young lady that came, she said, Miss William, I know that you're going to take care of your house.
Yes, that's what we want. We want to promote this value in the society of maintaining your property, you know, cutting your yard and keeping your surroundings clean. So we want you to maintain this, keep it well painted, make sure the doors properly hung and no windows are broken. All right, and that becomes a demonstration effect. They say, no, look how Lita keep our house clean. Let me keep my own clean too. Agree?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's condition number 2. Now, Lita, if fortune smiles on you and you decide to go 3 stories up, if you decide to put on an additional bedroom, we ask that you seek the permission and guidance of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation through the new social housing program.
Yes, sir.
Because you are built on a slope, but we have engineered the house for your slope. So we have done all the necessary works in your foundation to make sure that this house is supported. But if you were to build more on this house, the foundation may not be able to support it. So we want to know if you're going to expand the house so that we can advise you and tell you what you need to do in order for the house to remain stable. That's why we protect the taxpayers' investment. All right, because we have seen cases where people have gone and they have added on and then they see the house slip. You know, the foundation settled and because of 2 different foundations. So it's not that we're prying into your business, it's just a practical consideration that you inform the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation through the new social housing unit and you get the approvals of your municipal authority. All right? And then the last condition, which I think is probably the most important condition, is that as a beneficiary of this state benefit, that you must become or continue to be, which I'm sure you already are, an ambassador for good. A person who is an upstanding citizen in your community, right? it would really irk the taxpayers of the country if, having got this benefit, the community feels that you are one of the persons who are contentious and problematic, and every little problem in the community, you're in the middle of it. Right? No, what we want the people of your community and the taxpayers of Jamaica to feel is that this has so impacted your life that you are a positive impact on your community. That you are a person who preaches peace, that helps people in the community, takes care of the vulnerable. Right? So you don't only internalize the positive benefits to you, but you share that in terms of how you treat the other members of your community. You take care of the elderly, you encourage the youths, you mediate and bring peace. So you are an ambassador for good in your community. And those are the 4 conditions in our social contract. And I know you will agree to this.
Yes, sir.
All right? And if you agree to them, let's seal it now. So flip it around. So you sign here, and you're sign here, your MP will witness, and I sign here.
Right.
Excellent. Okay. So, Lita, I know you're worried about your mother, and I know that as you get this, you're going to lock it up and run going for your mother in the clinic. Right? Your daughter is here?
No, she gone with me, madam.
Oh, your mother is at
Okay,
okay, alright. So you come and hold on to this. Alright, so Lita, still, I know it's hard, but still give them a smile, show them that you're happy. Alright, I know you're worried about mommy. Alright, so this is now officially your house.
Yes.
Finish paying.
You're listening to The Voice of Riches, brought to you by La Jamken Group of Companies, including Oxford Spring Healing Water, Flight Lando Express, AW Immigration Services. The Voice of Riches, your educational, motivational, inspirational program. Tune in and be blessed.